From the choked, voice-changing laughter in the kitchen, to the shattered pain of divorce behind layers of makeup, Mrs. Doubtfire is not just a comedy, it is a journey of love, loss, and second chances. In 1993, they made the whole world laugh, but more than 3 decades later, their real lives took turns no one could have expected. Number 1. Robin Williams as Daniel Hillard, Mrs. Euphegenia Doubtfire. There are fathers willing to do anything just to be with their children, and Daniel Hillard is the craziest of them all. In 1993, when he stepped into this iconic role, Robin Williams was 42 years old. At the peak of his creativity, yet carrying deep inner turmoil, Daniel begins as an unemployed voice actor, impulsive and reckless, causing his marriage with Miranda to collapse. When the court restricts his access to his children, he creates a daring plan, transforming himself into a British nanny Mrs. Doubtfire, step by step. From clumsy makeup attempts to learning how to care for a family, Daniel gradually matures, but also faces tragedy when his identity is exposed during a chaotic dinner. The role became immortal thanks to Robin's vocal versatility, emotional authenticity, and the perfect blend of comedy and tears. In real life, he also went through 2 divorces and struggled with depression and addiction. After the film, he continued to shine, but his inner darkness grew stronger. In 2014, Robin Williams passed away at the age of 63, leaving the world in shock. By 2026, he remains an irreplaceable icon, a man who made the world laugh while silently battling within his own soul. Number 2, Sally Field as Miranda Hillard. Not everyone who leaves is the villain, and Miranda Hillard is a painful proof of that. When Sally Field took on this role at 47, she delivered a portrait of a strong yet exhausted woman. Miranda begins as a wife enduring Daniel's impulsiveness, then chooses divorce to regain stability for her children. Throughout the film, she rebuilds her life, even opening her heart to Stuart, a man perfect on paper. But behind her firm exterior lies inner conflict as she realizes her ex-husband is trying to change. The climax comes when Miranda discovers the nanny is actually Daniel, a shock that shatters everything. The role stands out because it is not one-dimensional. Miranda is not cruel, just tired. After the film, Sally Field continued a brilliant career with major awards. In real life, she also experienced 2 failed marriages, mirroring her character. By 2026, at the age of 80, she remains a Hollywood icon, a woman who endured heartbreak while holding on to her values. And Miranda remains the image of painful but necessary choices in love. Number 3. Pierce Brosnan as Stuart Dunmeyer. He appears as the other man, yet he is the kindest person in the room. In 1993, at 40, Pierce Brosnan portrayed Stuart Dunmeyer with charm, wealth, and near-perfect composure. Stuart is the complete opposite of Daniel, stable, mature, and family-oriented. He enters Miranda's life not to break it, but to repair what was already broken. In many scenes, he tries to bond with Miranda's children, despite being constantly sabotaged by Mrs. Doubtfire with mischievous antics. The peak moment is the dinner scene where Daniel plays both himself and the nanny when Stuart nearly suffers a cayenne pepper allergy. Daniel is forced to save him, accidentally revealing the truth. What makes this role special is that audiences cannot hate Stuart. After the film, Brosnan reached global fame as the legendary James Bond. In real life, he lost his first wife to cancer, a devastating tragedy. By 2026, at 73, he remains charismatic, continuing to act and create. Stuart Dunmeyer may not win hearts immediately, but over time, he becomes the one who leaves the deepest impression. Number 4, Harvey Fierstein as Frank Hillard. In a world of disguises and lies, Frank Hillard is the only one who sees through everything and still chooses to help. In 1993, at 41, Harvey Fierstein brought to life a sharp yet warm Frank, a talented makeup artist. Openly gay, living freely without judgment, Frank is the one who transforms Daniel from a desperate man into the perfect Mrs. Doubtfire. Through detailed makeup sessions, voice practice, and humorous physical training, behind the laughter lies deep understanding. Frank knows Daniel is doing something outrageous, but also understands it is driven by a father's love. The role stands out for its charm and intelligence, turning a supporting character into the soul of the film. In real life, he was one of Hollywood's early openly gay artists, paving the way for diversity. By 2026, at 72, Harvey Fierstein continues to work in the arts and write plays. Frank Hillard did not just help create Mrs. Doubtfire. He reminds us that family is not only about blood, it is about those who stand beside you when everything falls apart. Number 5, Polly Holliday as Gloria Chaney. In a world full of pretense, sometimes one sharp glance is enough to expose everything. In 1993, Polly Holliday was 56 when she played Gloria Chaney, the strict TV executive who controls Daniel's career fate. Gloria does not appear often, but every appearance brings pressure. She represents the professional world, where Daniel cannot survive on impulsiveness. It is Gloria who ultimately gives Daniel a second chance, not under disguise, but as his true self, through the Mrs. Doubtfire show. What makes this character special is her subtle transformation, from strict to recognizing talent. After the film, Polly Holliday continued acting, but gradually stepped away from the spotlight. She avoided major scandals and lived a relatively private life. By 2026, at 89, she is almost fully retired. Gloria Chaney may be a supporting role, but she is the final doorway that helps Daniel rediscover himself without masks, without lies, only honesty. Number 6. Lisa Jakub as Lydia Hillard. Teenage years are not just about rebellion. They are where family wounds become most visible. In 1993, Lisa Jakub was only 15 when she played Lydia, the intelligent, sensitive eldest daughter and the first to suspect Mrs. Doubtfire. Lydia witnesses her parents' marriage fall apart and carries both anger and a protective instinct toward her siblings. When she discovers the truth about her father, she does not immediately expose him but keeps the secret, showing maturity beyond her years. Her moments confronting Daniel are among the most emotional. No jokes, only truth and pain. The role stands out for its accurate portrayal of a teenager in a broken family. After the film, Lisa Jakub continued acting for a time before leaving Hollywood early. In real life, she faced anxiety and psychological pressure, later becoming a writer and mental health speaker. By 2026, at 47, she lives a quiet life away from the spotlight. Lydia Hillard is not the comic relief, but she is the one who makes the story feel real, representing children forced to grow up too soon. Number 7. Matthew Lawrence as Chris Hillard. Some children may not fully understand adult problems, but they feel family breakdown more deeply than anyone. In 1993, at just 13, Matthew Lawrence played Chris Hillard, the middle child, both innocent and beginning to sense change. Chris loves his father in the simplest way, playing, laughing, without conditions. When Daniel becomes Mrs. Doubtfire, Chris does not immediately suspect, but slowly senses something familiar. The subtle father-son connections through jokes and glances form the emotional core of the film. When the truth is revealed, Chris is not angry like Lydia, but confused and hurt, unsure which side to take. The role stands out for its natural, unforced performance. After the film, Matthew continued acting, gaining popularity in teen television series. His life has few major scandals, but he did not reach the expected peak of fame. By 2026, at 46, he still works in the industry, appearing in various projects. Chris Hillard is not the center of the story, but he is the emotional bridge, showing a child trying to hold his family together. Number 8. Mara Wilson as Natalie Hillard. Sometimes, the heart of the entire story that belongs to the youngest child. In 1993, Mara Wilson was only 6 when she played Natalie the adorable, innocent youngest daughter who loved Mrs. Doubtfire the most. Natalie does not question or analyze, she simply feels love. Scenes of her hugging Mrs. Doubtfire, telling stories, and giggling melt the audience's hearts. But when the truth is revealed, her innocent eyes turn into confusion, a direct emotional blow. Mara Wilson's performance stands out for its rare naturalness. She does not act, she lives the role. After the film, she became a famous child star in major productions. But real life was not a fairy tale. Her mother passed away from cancer when she was young, leading her to step away from Hollywood. By 2026, at 38, Mara is a writer and speaker, no longer acting regularly. Natalie Hillard remains in audience memories as a symbol of innocence and unconditional love, something even adults sometimes lose. Number 9. Robert Prosky as Jonathan Lundy. Not everyone with little screen time is unimportant. Sometimes they change the entire course of the story. In 1993, Robert Prosky was 63 when he played Jonathan Lundy, the TV executive who sees Daniel's potential without the disguise. Jonathan represents second chances. He does not care about Daniel's mistakes, only what he can offer. He is the one who proposes the Mrs. Doubtfire show, turning deception into a legitimate career. Though brief, the role carries weight, as every word he speaks is decisive. After the film, Robert Prosky continued acting until his death in 2008 at age 77. He was not a major star, but was deeply respected for his talent and consistency. By 2026, he is remembered as a veteran actor. Jonathan Lundy proves that sometimes one person's belief is enough to change a life. Number 10. Haney as Mrs. Sellner. Some people do not bring laughter. but they decide how everything ends. In 1993, Anne Haney was 59 when she played Mrs. Sellner, the strict social worker overseeing Daniel's custody rights. She is not easily deceived, observing every action and every word. In tense scenes, Mrs. Sellner represents the law, the boundary Daniel cannot cross. When the truth is revealed, she delivers the judgment, forcing Daniel to face consequences. Yet she is not entirely cold. At the end, when Daniel proves his growth, she allows him supervised visits controlled. But humane, though a small role, it adds realism and weight to the story. In real life, Anne Haney continued acting until her death in 2001 at age 67. By 2026, she is remembered through her meaningful supporting roles. Mrs. Sellner may not be beloved, but she keeps the story grounded between emotion and responsibility. They once made the whole world laugh, then left it silent before the truths behind the spotlight. Mrs. Doubtfire is not just a memory, it is a mirror of time, where every character, every person has changed, yet the emotions remain unchanged.